Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we decode the secrets hidden in plain sight within corporate filings. And oh boy, do we have a doozy for you today. It seems iPower Incorporated has released some earnings information, and we are going to dive deep to figure out if they are powering up or powering down. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this report, if you love getting easy to understand breakdowns of companies, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, we have a fantastic community over on Discord. The link is in the description. Come join the conversation. Alright, so on the 20th of February of 2026, iPower Incorporated put out some news about their performance. Specifically, they are telling us about their second quarter results for the period ending the 31st of December 2025. Now, this filing itself is a Form 8K, which is basically a current report that companies have to file to announce major events that shareholders should know about. And in this case, the major event is their earnings announcement. The company we are looking at today is iPower Incorporated. They are based in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They are a publicly traded company and their stock trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol IPW. Their main share offering is their common stock, and it is described as being worth $0.001 per S-share. This is a pretty standard way to represent the par value of a stock, which is a very small amount. The important part is that it trades on the NASDAQ, a major stock exchange, which means investors can buy and sell it. Now, one interesting thing the filing points out is that iPower Incorporated is an emerging growth company. This means they are a smaller company and they get to use some extended rules for financial reporting. Think of it like a training wheel period for businesses that are still growing and don't have the resources of the really big corporations to handle all the fancy accounting rules right away. You'll see a little check mark here indicating they are indeed an emerging growth company. They have also elected not to use the extended transition period for complying with new or revised financial accounting standards, which means they are stepping up and adhering to the latest accounting rules instead of waiting for the grace period. The core of this report, the part that really matters to investors, is under item 2.02. This section is all about the company's results of operations and their financial condition. In plain English, it is about how much money they made, how much they spent, and how healthy their finances appear. So, the big news from the 20th of February 2026 is the company's earnings press release for the quarter that ended on the 31st of December 2025. This is crucial because it gives us a snapshot of their performance right at the end of the last calendar year. The document tells us that this press release is attached as an exhibit, which means we can likely find the actual numbers and details within it. And indeed, looking further down, we find Exhibit 99.1, which is listed as the press release dated the 20th of February 2026. This is where the juicy financial details are hidden. Unfortunately, the actual tables from that press release aren't directly embedded in this document we are looking at, but this 8K filing is serving as the official notification that these results have been made public. We know they announced their earnings for the second quarter, which ended on the 31st of December 2025. Now, usually an 8K filing will embed the actual press release or the financial tables right within the document. However, in this specific case, it seems they are merely referencing the press release as an exhibit. This means that to get the nitty-gritty numbers, the revenue, the profit, the expenses, we would need to pull up that separate Exhibit 99.1. But the fact that they are filing this 8K tells us that these results were deemed significant enough to report to the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC. The report is signed off by Chenlong Tan, who is the Chief Executive Officer of iPower Incorporated. A CEO signing off on an earnings report is standard procedure, and it signifies that the leadership of the company stands behind these reported results. Now, let's talk about what this actually means for iPower Inc. When a company releases its earnings, it is like showing your report card to the world. Investors, analysts, and potential customers all want to see how the company is doing. This particular filing is a bit of a pointer to another document, the press release, which would contain the actual financial numbers, without those exact figures for revenue, net income, earnings per S-share, and so on. It is hard to make a definitive judgment on their operational performance. However, the act of releasing this 8K indicates that they have shared their second quarter results, and these results are now public information. Looking at this filing, we know the date of the report and the period it covers. We also know the company is an emerging growth company, which carries certain implications for how they report their financials. The key takeaway here is that iPower Inc. has communicated its financial performance for the second quarter of fiscal year 2026, which concluded at the end of 2025. For a deeper dive into the actual financial health, we would absolutely need to examine the exhibit, the press release itself. Based on what we have here, iPower Incorporated is sharing its performance data from late 2025. As an emerging growth company, they are navigating the business landscape with certain regulatory advantages. The CEO has officially endorsed the release of this information. While we don't have the explicit numbers here, the filing confirms that iPower Inc. has disclosed its financial standing for the second quarter. So, what is my take on this filing? Well, this particular 8K is a bit of a placeholder. It tells us that iPower Inc. did announce their earnings for the second quarter, ending the 31st of December 2025. The actual financial details, the numbers that would tell us if they are thriving or struggling, are in a separate press release, Exhibit 99.1. This filing is just the official notification to the SEC that this announcement has been made. Think of it like this: the filing is the announcement that the big game happened, but it doesn't show you the score. To know how iPower Inc. performed, you need to go read the game summary, which is the press release. Without those specific figures, revenue growth, profit margins, debt levels, it is hard to assess their direction, their strengths, or their weaknesses based solely on this document. The most notable thing here is the confirmation that they are an emerging growth company, which does give them some flexibility as they scale. A key opportunity for iPower Inc. would be to leverage their reporting status to focus on growth initiatives, while a risk they face is that without standout financial performance, they might struggle to attract significant investor attention in a competitive market. The clear conclusion is that this 8K is a notification, not the full story. Alright, that is our breakdown of iPower Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.